So let's quickly go through the previous session, and then we will continue for new topics, right? So we have already started second unit, which is linear data structures and their representation. Okay. The major content within this entire unit is array, stack, queue, and linked list. We are done with array, where we have seen representation of array, memory representation, storage structure, sparse matrix, applications of array, and so on. Then in the previous session, we started stack. And we have gone through the stack definition concepts, and we have seen the few operations on stack, right? So what is stack? Stack is nothing but the ordered group of homogeneous items. You can perform any operation from one end only, which is top. And stack behaves like last in, first out, LIFO structure. This is what you need to remember, and these are the important points you need to produce whenever stack is being asked. Okay. So what is stack? Stack is nothing but the ordered group of homogeneous items. So it's a collection of items. So we need array, and it is ordered one. Operation will be done from one end only. So at which place we are going to operate, we need to remember that place. So to remember that place, we call it a top. So we need data array and we need a top pointer. Nishita, unit 1 PPT has already been uploaded in e-content. You can have a look at it. Okay. Unit 1 as well as array part, these PPTs are uploaded in e-content. So please check it, then ask. So going back to this part, stack. So we need array to store data, and where to store data, we need to maintain that pointer. So we call it top pointer, right? So we need top pointer. Pointer, it is kind of a pointer for us, but in program it will be simple variable which is going to maintain the index of particular element where we are going to operate anything. So we need two entities, data array and a top variable. Combinedly, these two are going to create a stack. So in a program we can create a structure for this one, right? So we create a structure like this one, and we represent that stack like this one. And we know that from top only, either we are going to insert or we are going to delete an element. So it is last in, first out kind of a structure. So LIFO structure. Then we started discussing few operations on this stack. So you should initialize your stack so that we need to initialize actually top variable pointing to -1 that we have seen, because -1 is not a valid index, and from that we come to know, okay, our stack is empty. If my top is pointing to -1, then I can say my stack is empty. And if top is pointing to some valid index starting from 0 up to the maximum size, then I can say that, okay, my top is pointing to the element which is having the topmost value, right? So that's how we are going to manage. Now, whenever we write code for operations on stack, we are going to manage this top. So as a developer, we need to manage all the variables and data part. User is just going to call those functions. User is just going to call those operations. But as a developer, when we define or when we develop our data structure, we need to write that proper code. And for end user, it will be abstract. So if you recall abstract data type, for end user, it is going to be abstract. End user does not know how we are maintaining the data internally. Fine. So that creates abstract data type also. We will see how to create data type in a code. Fine. So this is where we stopped actually. And now let's continue from this place. Okay. So first operation was initialization of a stack, where we actually need to initialize our top variable with -1. -1 because it's not a valid index, and that indicates our stack is empty. So that's it for initialization. We need only one statement, make top pointing to or save -1 in that top variable. Now, if you are using simple variable of a structure, then dot operator will be used to access the member. And if you are using the pointer variable, then you need to use arrow operator to access the member. Now this you might have gone through in previous semester, structures and pointers. Okay, we will be using pointers. I'll show you why. But that means if we use pointer variable to stack, then we need to use arrow operator everywhere. Fine. So that was first operation. Now second operation is push. Push operation is nothing but the insert operation. Okay. So if you want to insert one value in the stack, then you are going to call push operation. Now initially we say that, okay, this is how my stack will look like. I'll be having a data array, right, with some index values, and my top will be pointing to the -1 because I have initialized it with -1. Now this indicates it is the empty stack. Okay, this is the empty stack. Now for the first time, when we call push operation, let's say I want to push value 5. Let's say this is just the assumption, any value we can push, but let's say we want to push 5. So what we do is we call push operation and we give it a value 5. Now in that case, what we need to do is in our data array, we are going to store that value. In this data array, we are going to store that value 5, given value 5. Now when you push or when you insert that value from the top, then it is going to be stored at the lowest empty space. This is where it is going to be stored. Now how do we do it, or what we need to do actually? So my top was earlier pointing to -1. I'm going to update this top with ++, so it will point to 0 now. Okay, now that is my first step. What am I doing? I'm going to increase my top by 1, top +1. Okay, I'm going to increase my top. This is my step number 1. Now once my top pointer is pointing to 0, then my second step will be storing data at a given index by top. Whatever value has been given, I'm going to store it. So data of 0 equals to 5. That's what my next process is. So the first process is top ++, and then next process is data of top equals to 5. 5 was given to us. So we have taken two steps. First, we increase our top, and then we store the given value at that top index value. So let's take one more example. Let's say next push operation we want to do, and we want to store value 8. Then what we will do is, this is what the current status of my array is. I have my data array. It is already having 5 in it at 0th index. and 1, 2, 3, and 4, these are the further index values. And my top is currently pointing to 0. This is the current status. Now let's go through these two steps. First step is top plus plus. So we are going to update our top to next index value 1. Then the second step is data of top equals to 8. So 8 will be placed at this index value. Okay, and that's how these two steps, top plus plus and then data of top equals to value. Again, top plus plus, data of top equals to value. These are the two steps we are going to perform whenever we want to insert any value in the stack. So if you want to store a value in stack, you need to do these two steps. You need to perform these two steps. Now, obviously, before that, before doing these two steps, we need to check, do we have space in our stack so that we can store a given value? If your stack is already full, then you won't be able to store any extra value in your stack, which means if your top is already pointing to 4, then it indicates your entire array is full. Next time, if you push new value, then you will do top plus plus, then top will be pointing to 5, which is not within my range. If my array is of size 5, maximum index value will be 4. So if top is pointing to maximum, then we can say stack is full. So for that, you can write, if your top is equals to maximum of your size, then it is overflow. Okay, so that's the overflow condition, overflow message you can print here. You can say your stack is full. So this is the push operation. Any query or doubt, question here in this push operation? I'll stop here for a while. You have a look at this entire process. And if you do have any query, you can ask me. Later on, we will see the algorithm for this one. Any query, guys? Sorry. Yeah. Just respond to chat box so that we can continue. Students, please respond to chat box. I'm blank here. Are you getting me? Okay. Okay. Fine. So that was the push operation. Let's go through the process and the algorithm also. So if we want to create this push operation, then in our program, we need to write push function. So it's nothing but a function which is going to add new item to your stack at the top position. Okay. Now preconditions should be your stack must be initialized and it should not be full. Then and then only you will be able to insert a new value. And the post condition will be new item will be on the top. Whatever new item you will insert, you will push will be on the top. So when we create this function, we need to pass our stack and we need to pass the new value. Now we need to pass our stack because you might have multiple stacks, and at that place of you need to take decision which stack you are going to push this item. So you will pass your stack and you will pass your value. So there will be two parameters, okay, to this operation. So this processor is just going to insert a new element X into the stack at the top position, and pointer top is denoting by the top element of the stack. Fine. So let's have a look at these the algorithm here now. This is the algorithm for push operation. First step we will do is we are going to check our top is equals to max. Then we will say stack overflow, it is full, and we will return. Now if your stack is not full, which means your top is not pointing to maximum, then we'll do those two steps, top plus 1. Okay, top equals to top plus 1, and at the given top index you store the value and then you return. That's it, right? So majorly there are two steps. First one is increase your top, and second one is you store data at top position. These two are the major steps, and you can see those steps here in step number 2 and step number 3. So very basic push algorithm for stack. Increase your top, store your data. Clear? Now we will see the next operation, delete operation, which is called pop operation in terms of stack naming convention. Delete is called pop here. So pop operation will again be done on the top only. So let us consider that you do have some values already in your array, data array. Your top is pointing to some index. Let's say top is already 2, which means there will be total 3 values. Okay, let's say 5, 6 and 8. Wherever top is pointing to, you will find the latest value there. So if top is equals to 2, then on index 2 you will have the topmost value, which is 8 here, and that will be the value to be deleted. So how do we delete? So to delete a value from the stack, we will first take the value from the topmost index. So we will take a value from our data array and the index will be top. So what value you will have? Data of top. So data of 2 is what? 8 here, and we are going to remove that 8. Now if I remove my 8, then I need to decrease my top with 1. because if I delete 8, then the next topmost value is what? It is 6. So top should be decreased. So next step is I'm going to decrease my top with 1. So these are the 2 steps we need to perform. Okay, let's have the next step. We were having 5 and 6 already in your data array, and your top is pointing to 1 now. Okay, so what you'll do, you'll take the topmost value, you will have 6. So topmost value is 6, we have it. And then what we do is we decrease our top. So this value is deleted, and now top is pointing to 0 index. So these are the 2 steps we perform when we want to delete any item. This is exactly reverse of the push operation. In push, we were incrementing top and then storing a value. Make its reverse. So you will take value and then you decrease your top. Okay. So take the value and then you decrease your top, and whatever value you have, you can return that value. So that will be the deleted value. So again, you perform these 2 steps. Top is pointing to 0. So topmost value, you will have 5, and then you decrease your top. So top will become -1. So further pop function, if I call on my data array, and I am having value 5 here. So actually my top is pointing to 0. Now topmost value is 5, so I'll have it. And then when I decrease my top will become -1. 0 -1, so it becomes -1. So third time I will be able to pop a value, because there were total 3 values, so I can pop 3 values. But now if I go for further delete operation, then top is pointing to -1. -1 is not a valid index, which means my stack is empty. So in that case, underflow condition becomes what? If your top is -1, then it is underflow. And that is what the emptiness condition. That's how you decide your stack is empty or not. Okay, so this is the pop operation. Again, have a look at this entire process, try to understand, and update your status on a chat box. Then we will see the algorithm also. Okay, if you want, you can have a screenshot of this thing, so that later on, if you are referring this thing, you can have a look at it. Or else, as every time we upload recordings and share the link with your attendance, so you will be able to see this entire recording in your login also. Okay, so should we move on? Well, let's go now. So let's have a look at the process and the algorithm of pop operation. So again, if you want to delete a value, it is called a pop operation, and in your function, in your code, you are going to create a function. So this pop is a function which is going to remove the topmost element from the stack. Precondition for this is your stack must be initialized and it should not be empty. And the post condition will be the topmost element will be removed from the stack and your top element will be changed. You return your top. So in your code, if you do have multiple stacks, then at least you need to pass your stack. So from which stack you want to delete a value, that we need to define. And whatever value will be deleted will be returned from this function. So in return, we will have a value from this function. So let's see the algorithm now. The first condition will be the emptiness condition, underflow. So if my top is null, now in terms of algorithm, we call it null, but in a program, we will call it -1. So if your top is null, then you can say it's underflow, and you simply return from this place. Otherwise, what you'll do is you will take a value from the topmost position, then you decrease your top by 1, and whatever value you received, you return that value. So this is the algorithm for pop operation. Again, major 2 steps. You get a value from topmost position, and then second step is you decrease your top by -1. Then you can return a value. Exactly reverse than the push operation. So we have seen pop operation, which is insert. We have seen push operation, which is insert. Then we have seen pop operation, which is delete. Next, we want to see is the pip operation. Look, pip operation is not going to change anything within your stack. It is just going to check what is the topmost value and it will return that value. It will not delete it. It will simply return that topmost value. So if there is a situation where you just want to check what is the topmost value, you don't want to change it, you don't want to delete it, you just want to know what is the topmost value, then you can use pip operation. So as we understand this process, it is going to give me the topmost value. So from my data array, it is going to give me the topmost value. That's it, and it will return. It is not going to change your top. So it is almost same as the delete operation, pop operation. What we do in a pop operation, we take the topmost value, then we decrease the top. Now you skip this second step, decreasing top, you skip it. Then it becomes pip, because it is also going to give you the topmost value. So if your stack is having some data values, and your top is pointing to the topmost element, then data of top will be 7 and pip operation will return value 7. It is not going to update my top, so top remains as it is. Okay, that is the simple pip operation. You just need to take one step. Now before you take the topmost value, you can always check whether your stack is having anything or not. If your stack is empty, you will not be able to access the topmost element. So it's very simple, and we will directly have a look at the algorithm here. If your top is null, then underflow message and return. Otherwise, what you can do is you can return the topmost element value. we are not going to update top here. Okay, so that is pip operation. So are you clear with push, pop, and pip, three major operations of stack? I want your feedback on chat box. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So these three are the major operations on stack: push, pop, pip, push, pop, pip. Now there are a few more the operations we will see, but those are the add-ons to the stack. Let us have a look at next operation, which is change. Change operation is going to change the existing value based on a position given by the user. Fine. So let's say if user wants to, or let's consider the situation first. Let us say that this is your data array. Having some values in it. For example, values are 5, 6, 7, and 8. Consider this is the current situation. Then your top will be pointing to the index value 3. Okay. Now this is your current situation. Let us assume this. And let's say user wants to change position number 3 and new value to be 1. So remember, first one is position and the second one is the new value. Whatever existing value you have there doesn't matter. You just go and replace that existing value with the given new value. At what position? At position number 3 given. But remember, this representation is what we know. End user does not know how internally we are maintaining our stack and data. Just user will have this vertical structure as a stack. So just like you prepare a tower of stones, you place the first stone at the base. So 5 is your first stone, user's first value. On top of that, user will insert a new value 6. On top of that, user will give a third value 7, and so on. Okay, so for user, positions are something like topmost position will be the first position for user. Then this is second, this is third, and this is fourth position for user. And that's how user is going to calculate the positions. Okay. Now, user has given us a position and we want to have index to change the data, right? Because when we access data array, whenever we are going to access our data array, then we need to write index so that we can update that given value. Now, first hurdle for us is how to convert given position to appropriate index. Now, that is my question to you all. Can you come up with one mathematical equation which is going to convert given position to the appropriate index? Try to come up with one equation and write in a chat box. How are you going to map these two things? What things we need to map? 3, 2, 1, and 0. These are the indexes. Exactly, its reverse is 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the positions. So we need to map, or we need to find a mapping which will give us this values. Which means if user gives position 3, we need index 1. So what do you think? Harsh is saying index minus pose, but what is index? Look, POS has a value 3 given by user, but what is the value of index? Which index value? Max. Always maximum? Max is 4 here. Check out. Will it work? Always? I'll say please check always. Is it going to work? What if I do have 3 values only in my stack? Forget 8. मेरे पास 8 है ही नहीं. I do have 5, 6, 7, 3 values only, and then user gives position 3. Any other students wants to try out? Just post your thinking. Look, it should be something like this. Your IDX index you can calculate from this equation, which is top minus position plus 1. This should be your equation. Look, we start calculating position as 1, 2, 3, 4 from the index value, which is starting from top. Actually 3 is the topmost position, which indicates where your topmost value is. If you have 4 values, then top is pointing to 3. If you have 5 values, then your top will change. If you have 2 values, then also your top will change. Correct? So calculating position will depend on top. Everyone clear with this part? User will calculate his positions 1, 2, 3, 4 starting from the topmost element, and top may vary based on the situation, current status, which means calculating index should always depend on top, because indirectly position is calculated based on top. Fine. So top minus position. Now we are doing plus 1 because top is the index value, which is 0 base, Position is just a numbers user is calculating, which is starting from 1 always, 1, 2, 3, 4. So to have this difference, to compensate this difference of 0 and 1, we will add 1 at last. So what was my current position, current top? Current top was 3 minus, what is the position given by user? It is 3, and I'm doing plus 1 here. So 3 minus 3, 0, plus 1. So IDX will be 1, and that's what we want here. Okay. Now check this equation. If I do have two values only, 5 and 6, so my top will be 1. If user gives position 2, then is it working properly? Give me the answer, yes or no. Check this equation. With top is 1 and position is 2. Yeah. So that's how it will work. So we can calculate index based on the given position with this equation. But user can give any position, 1, 2, 3, 4. User can even give you 5. A user is just a user. We can never rely on user directly, blindly. So once we calculate IDX, we need to validate this index value. If this index value is a valid one, then and then only we are going to update that position value. Otherwise, we can give user a proper message, invalid position given. Okay. So validity of index is what? Your index should be in a range of 0 to top. That is a valid range because that's where you have the values. So your IDX, okay, your IDX must be in a range of 0 to top, and both these are inclusive. So that should be your test condition to check the validity of calculated index. Otherwise, it's invalid position given by user. That's it. So everyone clear with this change operation? User can give you the position and a new value. We are going to update existing value with the new one based on a given position. So from the given position, we will calculate index, and then we check the validity of that index, and then we update. So let's have a look at the algorithm here. If your top is null, then your stack is empty. There is nothing in your stack you can update, so emptiness condition. If it is not the case, then what we will do is we are going to calculate the index from the given position. So top minus pose plus 1. Then we will validate that index. That index must be greater equals to 0 and less equals to top. If it is the case, then at given index or at calculated index, we are going to update the value. Otherwise, we will print invalid position message and return. So this is the change operation. Now, when you call this change function, you need to pass stack variable, because it might be the case you have multiple stacks. Then कौन से stack पे ये change operation करना है, आपको पहले stack pass करना होगा. Then pass the position, and the third one you pass the new value. So we are going to pass 3 parameters here in the change function, and we will do this operation. So that's the change operation. Have a look at this algorithm, read it once, then we will see the next one. Okay, Melanie, quick recap for change operation. Okay, let's have a look at it one more time. Consider this as a current situation. Okay, we have 4 values in our stack, and that means our top will be pointing to index value 3. That is where the topmost value is. The value is 8. And user wants to change the third position value. Now user will always calculate positions from the topmost value. So this is how user will calculate positions 1, 2, 3, 4. But we have index values exactly in the reverse order, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is the difference. So first thing what we need to do is we need to change the given position to the index value. So those two are exactly in reverse. Position is 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas indexes are 3 to 1, 0. So we need to have one mathematical relationship between these two, position and index. Now that relationship we found with the equation like idx equals to top minus pose plus 1. And we check that whether this equation is working in all the conditions or not. So it is working because positions are calculated from the topmost position. So there is a relation between top and pose, and those two are reverse. So top minus pose will be the equation. Now there is a difference of 1 because position starts from 1, index starts from 0. So to compensate that difference, we have plus 1 at the end. So that is how we calculate index. But user can give you any position value. User can give you 10 in terms of position. And this is just a mathematical equation. It is going to calculate something. So top is 3. 3 minus 10 will be minus 7 plus 1 will be minus 6. So idx will be just a number, calculated number. We can never use that idx directly. We need to validate that idx. And the valid range from index value is 0 to top. So we are going to have if condition. If index is in between these two, then it's a valid one and we will update the value. Otherwise, that idx has been calculated based on the position given by user, and we will say invalid position. Clear now? This is the algorithm for that. Okay, so we have seen push, pop, peep, and change operation. And before that, we have seen init operation also. Now, these all operations have already considered is empty and is full conditions. So if your top is null, or in terms of programming, we can say if top is -1, then stack is empty. And if your top is max, or in terms of programming, if your top is max -1, then you can say your stack is full. So is full function and is empty function is also done. Then there is display operation, because if you want to see what is there in your stack, then you may go for the display operation. Now display operation is not here in the slide, but let me have side by side. Sure. If I want to go for display my stack, then I'm going to pass that stack here. Now for this display, let us consider a situation where we do have few values in our data array. let's say 5, 6, and 7. These are the values. So your top will be pointing to 2, index value 2. Now this is your current situation of stack. If you want to print your stack, then what are you going to print on the output screen? It will be 7, 6, and 5. That is what we will print on the output screen. Topmost value should be printed first, then up to the bottommost. So 7, 6, and 5 we are going to print. Now we can print 7 by accessing data of index 2. So I can print any data from the data array, and I can print it using, now I want to print multiple values, so need to have a for loop, need to have a loop. Let's say I is the loop control variable, then I will start from somewhere, I will range up to something, and I plus plus or I minus minus. We will have this loop, and we print data of I. So what are we doing? We are ranging from top to bottom, which means starting from 2, then 1, then 0. So we have a reverse loop here. 2 is the starting point, which is actually the top. So I'm going to initialize my I with top, I equals to top, and I will decrease I, so I minus minus. Up to what? Up to I greater equals to 0. So that will be my for loop. I equals to top, I greater equals to 0, I minus minus. And then I will print data of I. Now this is the for loop to display your entire stack. Ready? Now before you print this for loop, you can always check emptiness. If your top, if your top is already -1, then empty stack message, else you can go for this entire for loop, and this will be your display operation. Okay, so now just to make a list, we have started with init operation, then push, pop, peep, change, display, is empty, is full. Total 8 different operations we have seen on a stack till now. Everyone with are clear with the current status of us? Have you understood what stack is and what are the operations on stack? So the next thing will be the exercise. Implement a stack of something size which can store integer values. So this is just an exercise. We want to store integer values in a stack of any size. 10 is written here, but you can also implement it for 5, 6, 7, whatever size you want. So what we will do is, in next lecture, we will implement this entire stack as a program, C program. I'll show you how you can write this entire code, how you can create this entire stack. Okay, that will be in the next lecture. For today, let's quickly have a revision. Init top equals to -1. Push top plus plus, data of top equals to value. Pop, get a value from top and then decrease your top minus minus. Peep, you just return a topmost value. Change, calculate the index, top minus position plus 1, validate that index from 0 to top, and then you update the value. Display operation, run a loop starting from top up to 0. So it's a reverse loop, I minus minus. And data of I we need to print. Emptiness, top is -1. full top is maximum. So these are the operations we have seen on this stack. Now I want you to revise this entire stack before coming to next lecture, because in next lecture we want to implement this stack. I'll show you how to implement this stack in a program, and that is your practical number 3 also. So we will be doing your third practical in lecture itself. In lab session, you all will be implementing your stack, but I'll show you how to create that stack in a lecture session. So that's all for today, and let's stop here. If you have any question or query, you may ask, or if you don't have anything, you may leave this session now. Thank you for coming here.